What is going on, my Super Sandwiches? Rhymestyle here, and today I'm joined by Qaaman to discuss Champa in Dragon Ball Super. It's kind of a weird one to talk about because, again, we know nothing about Champa. We just know he looks like Beerus in a way. Some people theorize he's his brother. Some people theorize that he is basically Beerus from a different universe. There's a lot of crazy theories out there, but as of right now, as of today, at the time of us recording this, we know nothing. We briefly saw Champa in a manga, and we're not going to cover that just for avoiding of spoilers to those who haven't read the manga. And in the anime, he has not made an appearance quite yet. I hope not yet, because I'm recording this actually before episode 9 airs. But I assume he will not be in episode 9, so we'll see him sometime probably after the fight in the anime. But the question is Champa a villain? And I decided to bring Qaaman onto this one because he thinks he is. And I have this weird belief that Champa is actually not a villain. And I'll go over that in a couple seconds. But Qaaman, why don't you go ahead and start us off? Why do you think Champa is a villain?
Well, Dino, to be completely honest with you, and to give Josh from Dragon Ball Nation credit because he likes his credit, when we originally saw Champa, we saw him holding, the earth in his fingertips, and Josh looked at that as a metaphor, just saying like he kind of holds the earth by its fingertips. Right. Also, when you looked at his sinister smile, that was a big hint. And I think the biggest reason why I've always felt that Champa was a bad guy was for logical creation of a character. And the reason what I mean by this is, if they were going to create a character that looked so identical to Beerus, they would have to create him to be some type of antagonist towards either the Z Fighters or to give people a reason to fight this character or something along those lines. It's very hard for me to believe that they were just creating not for that reasoning, which is probably the primary reason I believe Champa's a bad guy. Okay.
Well, do you want to know what my thoughts are on this? I don't think he's a bad guy, but I also don't think he's a good guy. I'm actually going to go with the neutral side of them. And main reason, a couple reasons. So the first one was we saw the calendar get revealed a couple of weeks ago for 2016 for Dragon Ball Super, and it shows Super Saiyan God, Goku, Vegeta, Beerus, and then it shows Champa. And just off of that, it's weird because like that tells you literally nothing, but just seeing how that calendar is, it's kind of like building out what Champa is supposed to be in the series. And it kind of made me think of, or it reminded me of when Beerus was first introduced as this character that's not evil, but he's not good, he's neutral. And I feel like after seeing the 3rd chapter in the manga, clearly they know who Champa is, they being, what's his face, Elder and Supreme Kai. And I honestly think he's just a neutral character. Why is he in Universe 7? I have no idea. He's just probably trying to do something to stir up some kind of issues. But like at the same time, if he is a god of destruction of a different universe, or if he is, in that level of a deity, which he clearly is, he is a deity, I don't think he's a bad guy. He's just a neutral guy. He's a neutral guy. Yeah.
Well, let me just bring into question, the whole concept of like what we've seen from, the actual gods of destruction in general. We've seen this a little bit more in Super than we saw in Z, whereas, the Supreme Kai was, the Elder Kai was breaking down how there are some gods that create life, and then there's some that obviously destroy life to kind of compensate for it. So, in general, a god of destruction's job is kind of complicated because is he necessarily a bad guy, or is just his job to just destroy things? And that's the whole question that we bring up. You could look at Beerus as a villain because obviously what he does is villainous, but at the same time, he doesn't really seem to be a really evil guy that has like pure intentions to just kill everything. Beerus kills on his own will, not just for his pure excitement. Right. And I think that because he's sinister, and I think when you look at that and when you look at Champa, I think that he would at the very least be what Beerus is as a god of destruction, and obviously because of his character and what I personally think he would probably add to the series by being an extra antagonist, that's probably an additional reason as to why I would think that Champa would be a villain.
Right. What I want to wait for, and we're not going to talk too much about this because, again, we don't have much information. What I want to wait for is, and we're not going to discuss what happens to avoid spoilers to those who haven't read the 3rd chapter. Let's wait for the next chapter, chapter 4, and see what it is that Champa is seeking. Now, we already know what he's seeking, but again, we're not going to talk about it. And let's see what his purpose is. And I feel like once we know his purpose, we'll have a better idea of whether he's a good guy or a bad guy. But honestly, just because, to me, just the way his aura is, you can just see his character and just kind of understand what he is. Just off of seeing how he's being kind of thrown into the story from the manga and from the images that we saw so far, I think he's just a neutral character, probably from a different universe, seeking to do XYZ. And I feel like here's the theory. I don't think Champa is going to get killed in Dragon Ball Super. I don't think he's gonna get killed. If anything, he's gonna get sent back to his universe if he is from a different universe. But he's not going to get killed. I feel like he can't. He can't get killed just because if he is a god of destruction, you can't get rid of him like that easily. And yeah, that's my theory. It's a weird one because again we have no information about this, but I'm curious to know. Here's the question: to those who did read chapter 3 of the manga, what do you think he is trying to do? Let us know in the comment section below. Qaaman,
That would be pretty interesting to see.
do you have anything else? Also, one more question before I end this. We want to know, what do you guys think? Do you think Champa is good, evil, or neutral? Also, let us know in the comment section below. Qaaman, do you want to say anything else before we end this?
Yes, I have one very, very important thing that I'd like to say, and I'm sure Rhymestyle has missed my repetitive quote in every single video. Please, please, and I just mean please, Rhymestyle and I will make videos for you until the day we die if we can. But all we ask are 3 things. And it is to please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. And I guess it's technically a 4th thing because you have to remember. And as I always say, and as Dino always agrees, to have not a good, not a mediocre, or not a bad, but to have a great day, guys.